Welcome back. UFC predictions, UFC Fight Night. This Saturday, March 14th, Emmett versus Vallejos main event taking place in Dana's home away from home. The Apex, Meta Apex, kid, Las Vegas. It's just some fun fights on here. I got a lot of fights I want to talk about, some on the prelims, obviously the main card as well. I'm excited to get into it. I'm going to break down the fights little by little. I'm not going to take too long. I know people ain't got that attention span no more, neither do I. We're going to talk about the fights, break them down. I'll give you my prediction, why I think they win, and then you can take my predictions, put them on your little parlay you're cooking up, and become rich, because I'm never wrong. Never wrong. Don't check the record books on that. Before I get into this too, the UFC, your website, man, come on. I tried to film this video multiple times, and I couldn't do it because the UFC website would not load. Everything on my computer was working fine, running fast, loading, everything was fine, but the UFC website would not. I'd go to one fight, talk about it, go to the next one, the pictures wouldn't pop up. Like, really? You guys got gazillions of dollars? You can't sprinkle a little bit onto the website? Come on. Anyway, let's just get into the card. First fight. Very surprised this fight is on the prelims, but welterweights. Chris Curtis versus Mike Tibek Orolbai on the prelims. This one's a little interesting because it's one of them fights, which is kind of a trend on this card, you'll notice. The old guard versus the new guard. You got Chris Curtis, the old guard. Good boxer. Used to have really good takedown defense. Again, he's getting older, getting past his prime, of course, the end of his rope, the end of his line. A lot of times you see him now as a background character in Sean Strickland videos because they train together. So that's kind of what Chris Curtis is bringing to this. On the other side is Mike Tibek Orolbai. Lot to talk about this guy, and not just because of the way he looks. We all know. He's fighting at 170 this fight. Last fight was at 185 where he fought Jack Hermansson. Knocked him out, and he's also fought at 155. He had a fun fight with Mateus Rebecki at 155. Bloody, back and forth, absolute war of a fight. Super fun to watch. If you've never seen it, go watch it. But, he's been all over, riding his woolly mammoth all over these divisions. But he's finally settled down and migrated here at 170 to take on Christopher Curtis. And, again, old guard versus new guard. I'm usually going to rock with the new guard. I think Chris Curtis here is enhancement talent, as they call it in wrestling, and as I like to call it. I think he's here to make Orolbai look good. That's kind of what I think is going on here. They're trying to make Orolbai move him up. He's fun to watch. There's a lot of memes around him. They want to kind of move him up the rankings. And I believe that this is those who'll get him a win over a name, over a guy that's been here for a while. So yeah, I'm taking Mike Tibek Orolbai to get the win over Chris Curtis. This Saturday, I'm going to go with an Orolbai second round TKO win over Chris Curtis. I'm locking it in. Again, Orolbai, super fun to watch. He's tough, he's scrappy, and he's younger. He's closer to his prime, to getting into his prime than Chris Curtis is after, getting away from his prime, if that makes sense. So you got the new guy coming up versus the old guy going out. I'm rocking with the new guy coming up. Give me Mike Tibek Orolbai, second round TKO over Chris Curtis this Saturday. Next. This fight is the definition of mid. Brad Tavares versus Eric Anders. Okay. Two both like middle of the road, just older guys in the UFC at middleweight here. I know Brad Tavares, again, been around forever. Same with Eric Anders. Like, these guys are probably both close to being done. So this is kind of a random fight. I feel putting these two together. I mean, somebody gets the win, I guess. Not really a lot to say about these guys. I mean, they're both just like okay, decent guys. Brad Tavares gets a lot of decision wins if you look at his career. And I think that stays the same this Saturday. I'm going to go Brad Tavares gets the decision win over Eric Anders this Saturday. Again, not a lot to talk about this fight. There's nothing on the line really with this fight. I don't think anyone's excited for this fight. Just Brad Tavares, Eric Anders. Cool. Thanks, Dana. We're going to move on from that. Not much to talk about there. But there is something to talk about here. The big boys, the heavyweights. Vitor Petrino, Steven Asplin. This one's fun. Heavyweights are always fun. Asplin, You guys remember him from the Contender Series where he won there, and he's like, "I'll do anything to get in the UFC. I'll suck your toes, Dana." That's his words, not mine. I didn't say that. He said that. He said that. He said that. Yeah, he's 1-0 in the UFC. He's got a lot of power. He's fun to watch on the feet, obviously, as a heavyweight. And standing across from him is Vitor Petrino. I mean, you look at them, virtually identical. They look exactly the same. But Vitor Petrino, heavy grappler, 13-2 as a professional MMA fighter. Let's be real. Completely different shapes between these guys. I even Asplund was joking and saying Vitor Petrino, he goes, "Why is this dude fighting? He could be a model. He looks like The Rock." All right. I can see it. But I think this fight goes one of two ways. First of all, I'm rooting for Asplund. I like him. He's a cool guy. He just seems like a regular guy. He talks like you'll see interviews with him. He's a down-to-earth, normal dude, and he's just like, I was a fat guy that didn't want to be fat anymore, and now I end up in the UFC. Like, that's cool. But two ways I see this fight going. One, Asplund first-round knockout. Dude's got crazy power, catches him hot in the first round, boom, knocks him out. Or option two, which is option two is what I'm going with to happen. Unfortunately, this is what I think is going to happen. I think Vitor Petrino uses his grappling to get himself a decision win over Steven Asplund. We've watched Asplund not in the UFC, before the UFC. Guys have to fight before the UFC to get there. In the LFA, specifically, we've seen him get taken down a lot and kind of controlled on the ground. He's got a big, strong guy like Vitor Petrino, who's a good grappler. It makes me nervous for him. I hope Asplund can get it done. I hope option one happens. I hope he does get an early knockout. But I'm not banking on it. I'm going to bank on a Vitor Petrino grappling fest to get himself a decision win over Steven Asplund. That's what I'm going to go with. I'm hoping it's the other way around, but I'm playing it safe. Give me a Petrino decision via grappling. Lots and lots of grappling. Next, flyweights. We go from the biggest to the smallest, the biggest, the largest. We got Charles Johnson versus Bruno Silva at the flyweight division. Charles Johnson, we all already know. He just got knocked out by Alex Perez. He has knockout wins over Lonnie Kavanaugh, who just beat Brandon Moreno. And he has a knockout win over Joshua Van, who's the current UFC undisputed flyweight champion. Those are good wins. So you think he would be at the top as well? No. He's a killer, be-killed fighter. This dude either knocks people out or gets knocked out. And he's fighting a guy like Bruno Silva. Bruno Silva hits hard. This dude likes to throw bombs. And I think that's what's going to happen this Saturday. I think Charles Johnson and him are going to get into a scrap. They're going to get into a slugfest. Both guys like to strike. But I think it's going to be a matter of who can land better and who can land harder. And I think that's Bruno Silva. I think Bruno Silva is going to get himself a knockout or TKO victory excuse me, over Charles Johnson this Saturday. That's just what I'm feeling. Again, Charles Johnson, every now and then he'll catch somebody. Like I said, the Lonnie Kavanaugh, the Joshua Vans of the world, he'll catch them. You'll have your favorite prospect come up in flyweight division. They run the Charles Johnson, they're getting slept. But then when it's time for Charles Johnson to do anything else, he loses. And I think he's losing this Saturday. I think he gets knocked out by Bruno Silva. I could see an early knockout. I'm saying round 1, round 2. One of those for Bruno Silva to get a knockout victory over Charles Johnson. And then continue to climb the rankings here in the UFC flyweight division. Next, this one, interesting. Marwan, I want to say it's Rahiki, I do believe, versus Harry Hardwick. Hardwick, his debut. First of all, him and his brother, both good fighters in Cage Warriors in Europe. And I actually found them on TikTok a couple years ago, and I've kind of been following their stuff ever since. So I was like, cool, he's finally getting his debut in the UFC. If you guys don't know who Harry Hardwick is, he's the one you've definitely seen the clips of the dude where he just gets his leg absolutely chopped smooth off. That's him. He's getting his leg chopped to where he can't even stand up and he loses by TKO. Harry Hardwick's the one that loses. That was his debut, which I do believe was on short notice. I could be wrong. But yeah, that's one of the worst debuts you could possibly have. Marwan, this is technically his UFC debut. If you watch his Contender Series fight, this dude just is here to fight, here to scrap. Like, he loves to throw bombs, but he doesn't defend himself. Again, I feel like he's going to be one of them killer be killed guys because he's chins up in the air and he gets hit a lot if you watch his Contender Series fight. So, I think a lot of it depends on how Hardwick wants to come out in this fight. He knows he's got to win after his debut was how bad his debut was. And if there's any guy that he can try to catch, it might be Marwan just because of that, his defense and his chin being up. But Hardwick, I think he's going to be more too laid back. And I think Marwan's going to put a lot of pressure on him, make him uncomfortable, and put him in a bad spot. I'm going to go Marwan Rahiki to win by TKO in the first round. I'm going first round TKO. I hate to say it, man. Because I want to see the Hardwick's, it's Harry, and what's his brother? I cannot remember his brother's name off the top of my head right now. But both of them. I'd like to see both of them be successful still and do good. Harry's here in the UFC again. I'd like to see him get the win, but I just don't think it's going to happen. I'm going Marwan first round, TKO win over Harry Hardwick. Unfortunately, but hey, it is what it is. That's the UFC. Welcome to the UFC again. Welcome to the UFC again, actually, kid. It's your second time, and I don't think it's going to be much better than the first. Now, featherweights, once again. A lot of featherweights on this card. Andre Feely, Touchy Feely. Does he still go by that? Because that was a hilarious nickname. Andre Touchy Feely? Come on. Beautiful. Taking on Jose Delgado. This is another one. I talk about that trend. The old guard versus the new guard. The old guard, Andre Feely, versus the new guard, Jose Delgado. Andre Feely's been around forever. He's fun to watch. He likes to stand and strike, likes to scrap. But his chin's been tested and it's been cracked just because he's been fighting for so long in the UFC. And Jose Delgado likes to do the same. He likes to walk you down and throw bombs. And I think that's what he's going to do on Andre Feely. He's going to walk him down. He's going to touchy him. He's going to feely him. And he's going to put him out. I'm going to go Jose Delgado to get a knockout or a TKO over Andre Feely. Again, I'm feeling like I could feel a first round. Like I said, there's a lot of finishes I believe that's going to happen on this card just based off the matchups. It might be some casuals might say it's lacking in name value, but when you look at the matchups themselves and you look at style versus style, I think there's a lot of potential finishes and a lot of potential knockouts. And I believe this is one of them. Give me Jose Delgado to knock out or TKO Andre Feely. I'm going first round again, man. I'm going first round. Let's go first round finish for Delgado over Touchy Feely this Saturday. After that, light heavyweights. Ian Cutelaba versus Umar Sy. Now, Cutelaba, not the best grappler. Umar Sy, a good grappler. Cutelaba likes to strike. Umar Sy, no like to strike. So it's going to be a matter of who can get their game plan going first. Can Umar Sy get Cutelaba to the ground and grapple him? Or can Cutelaba stop it and keep it on the feet and throw his heavy hands? It's a stylistic, styles make fights. The classic striker versus grappler. Umar Sy always looks very nervous on the feet. Like, he looks very hesitant. He does not like to strike at all. That's how we saw him lose to Alonzo Metafield. Same way. He just gets a little nervous to strike, likes to go to the ground. And if the ground game doesn't work, he's kind of like, well, I'm screwed. So it's going to be a matter of, can he get Cutelaba to the ground? I think he can. Cutelaba, he's never been the best. He's looked better lately and recently than he used to, but I still don't think it's enough to get the win here. Give me Umar Sy, decision win over Cutelaba via lots of grappling. Same thing. This kind of reminds me of the Petrino-Asplin fight. You get the striker versus the grappler. There's a chance the striker catches him and gets a sweet knockout, or most likely what I'm going with, the grappler gets the takedown, smothers him, and gets the decision. So give me Umar Sy to get a decision win via lots of grappling over Ian Cutelaba this Saturday night. Now, after this, we go to the co-main event. That was the co-main. Now we're in the co-main. Women's MMA. Everybody's favorite. Amanda Lemos, Jillian Robertson, women's strawweight fight. I talked about a lot of finishes. I know last one was a decision. Well, this one's a decision as well. Women's MMA, there's not a lot of people that I'm going to pick to finish a fight. I'm sorry. The tape speaks for itself. Now, this one, Lemos. Bad grappling, bad takedown defense. She cannot defend that very well at all. She's fighting Jillian Robertson, who I think is one of the best female grapplers in the UFC right now. So how do you think this is going to go? I'm going Jillian Robertson, unanimous decision win, again, via lots of grappling, over Amanda Lemos. Lemos has never been good at grappling, never been good at defending takedowns and stopping, getting up, defending submissions, defending takedowns. I think she's going to get, I don't want to say mauled, but comfortably dominated on the ground by Jillian Robertson. Give me Robertson via decision by lots of grappling over Amanda Lemos this Saturday. Now that that's out of the way, we can get into what we're all here for. The featherweight main event. Josh Emmett versus Kevin Vallejos. Now, again, old guard, Josh Emmett. New guard, Kevin Vallejos. It's happening again. They're doing it again. I know what you're doing, Dana. You're trying to push new stars. Good. You need to do that. This is smart. Anyway, let's break this down. Josh Emmett. Josh Emmett, we know. Heavy hands. Heavy overhands. Heavy hooks. He hits hard. We've seen the knockouts over, I believe Michael Johnson's the one that I'm thinking of right now. And then, of course, the Bryce Mitchell one. Sleeping him with overhands, knocking him down. Seizing on the ground. Josh Emmett did fight Ilia Topuria, by the way. He lost bad, but he didn't get finished. He did not get finished by Ilia Topuria. Just got beat up a lot. But Josh Emmett hits hard, loves to strike. He's getting old, past his prime, good at getting hit. He's going to get hit a lot, but he's also going to eat like a 7-punch combo like this and then try to throw his hook or his over and hope to knock you out. That's the Josh Emmett way. That doesn't really work anymore, son. Welcome to the new age. Kevin Vallejos on the other side, man. This dude, speaking of Ilia Topuria, a lot of people are calling him the new Ilia Topuria. Dude has beautiful boxing and combos. He'll set up his strikes very well, pep you up with a combo, then boom, big power shot at the end to put you out. So I think this is a bad matchup for Josh Emmett. I just don't think his striking compared to Vallejos' striking is equal, You got two guys that both have power. Who's better technique? Vallejos. Who's got better defense? Vallejos. Who's got better head movement? Vallejos. Who's younger and faster? Vallejos. I'm going Vallejos, man. I think he's going to get it done over Josh Emmett. Give me a TKO finish for Kevin Vallejos in the main event. First round would not surprise me, but I'm going to go second. I'm going to go second round. I just don't see this one going Emmett is tough. I'm second guessing myself right now, but Emmett is tough. I don't think he's going to win, don't get me wrong. I do not think Josh Emmett's going to win, but it's just a matter of when does he lose. I'm going to go, let's still go Vallejos, and I'm going to go TKO second or third. This is a main event fight. I'll say second. Kevin Vallejos, second round. TKO over Josh Emmett. That's what I'm going to go with this time. Again, he's the better striker. He has the power. He's younger. He's faster. He's not past his prime like Josh Emmett. He sets up his strikes very well, and he's got pop on him. He's only lost one fight in his whole career, and that one fight was on the Contender Series to Gene Silva, who's one of the top featherweights in the UFC right now. So I believe that speaks for itself. He's very entertaining. I think he's got a bright future here at featherweight, and this is a great fight for him to display himself to the people that may not know who he is yet against a guy like Josh Emmett, where most people are just going to think of him knocking people out like Michael Johnson and Bryce Mitchell, etc. But I don't think that happens this Saturday. I think Vallejos gets it done. Like I said, let's go second round TKO for Kevin Vallejos over Josh Emmett in the main event of UFC Fight Night. Those are my picks. Those are my predictions. I'm glad I finally got this video recorded. UFC, man, you're really upsetting me today. You're really upsetting me today with your website. But I digress. The video has been made. Those are my predictions. Those are my picks. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe, follow my TikTok and Instagram. I got a new Instagram now, showtime.tv04 on Instagram, where I'm putting all my clips that I post on like TikTok and YouTube Shorts on here. Will be there on that Instagram. Follow my personal Instagram, I.am_Connor Smith. And then again, follow me on TikTok, showtime.tv04, O as in 0. Follow me there. All kinds of UFC content on all three of those locations. Make sure you follow, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I appreciate you guys. We'll be back with another video recapping this, seeing how well I did on my picks. Already know how that's going to be. We're going perfect. I can feel it. Feel it in my loins. It's happening. But again, thank you guys for watching this video. Those are my predictions for UFC Fight Night. And I will see you guys in the recap. Enjoy the show this Saturday.